Purdue has so much balance. Big reason why the Boilermakers are so difficult to deal with. Carson Edwards, Isaac Koss, Dakota Mathias, Vince Edwards, all averaging over 13.5 points per game. All have scored at least 20 in at least one game this year, as the Boilermakers, after that win over Butler in the Crossroads Classic, have now won 7 in a row. And we are joined now from West Lafayette by Boilermakers senior guard PJ Thompson. PJ, let's touch on that Butler win. No one on this team had ever beaten Butler. 5 straight losses, a couple in the Crossroads. I think dating back some 10+ years since you had knocked off the Bulldogs. What did this win mean for you guys as a program?
It was huge for our program. I wanted to tell the guys this is probably the biggest game in the non-conference thus far, just because of our previous unsuccesses in the Crossroads Classic, and just because it's a home game. We're playing in front of all the fans in Indiana, and we want to protect our state because we feel like we're one of the best teams in the country and the best in Indiana. So it meant a lot, and we were able to get our first win against Butler since I've been at Purdue.
The balance that I mentioned at the beginning of this segment is unmatched, basically, not just in the Big Ten, but really in the country. All 5 starters were in double figures against Butler, and so many different guys can do it on so many different nights. How much confidence does that give you that if you or Vince or Dakota has an off night, one of your teammates will typically have your back?
I think it's extremely tough to prepare for, just because we can beat you on the outside and we can beat you on the inside. And it's good for me as a point guard because I'm playing with such guys that are unselfish and guys that can really put the ball in the basket. And it's just sometimes when our shots aren't falling, we can go on the inside to Isaac, and he's such an unselfish player and he's so dominant. Most nights he gets doubled, and then it allows us on the outside to be able to shoot threes and win games that way.
Because as a team you do shoot threes so well, because Isaac is so dominant and his size is so talked about on the inside, sometimes overlooked is your defense, and you've kept 6 of the last 7 opponents under 70. How much pride do you guys take in your defense? How underrated do you feel like you are defensively?
I think we're getting a lot better. We're definitely trending the right way. We had some lapses in the Bahamas, and Coach lit a fire under us, and us captains and our team, we really wanted to come together, and how are we going to advance this season and win a lot of games. And even though we're one of the best offensive teams in the country, we know we can't win championships without playing defense. And I think we've gotten better every single game on the defensive end, and we've shown that we can win ugly by playing defense and not making shots like we did in the Louisville game to the second half. So I think our defense is trending upwards, and I think we'll get even better as well.
Now, PJ, you've always been a capable shooter. You were 38% from 3 in your first 3 years, but this year you're 49%. I mean, no one makes 1 out of every 2 threes that they take. So why the uptick for you?
A lot of time in the gym. I've always been known, growing up, I always could shoot the basketball at a pretty high level. But, my freshman year, I didn't play that much. Only played like 15 minutes a game. So I was getting a shot maybe 1 or 2 every 4 or 5 games. And if I miss them, the percentages go down. And I was able to get better my sophomore year in the percentages. Then my junior year, I was above 40. And this year, I really put a lot of time in, tweaked some things, mechanical things, and just getting a lot of shots up. I worked pretty hard, and I've always been known as a shooter. So they're happening in the fall so far. It's got to keep it up.
Very veteran group, obviously. Yourself, Vince, Dakota, Isaac, all your last go-around. Do you feel a bigger sense of urgency this year than ever before?
Yeah, I do. I think we have a really good team this year. I've told people since last year, I thought we lost the best player in the country, but I feel like we had an opportunity to be an even better team my senior year, and I still believe that. I think we're playing good basketball right now, but I do think we have a lot of room to improve as well, and I don't think we're going to play the best right now in December that we'll be playing in March and February. So I love the team that we have this year despite losing Biggie. I think we've all gotten better at little things, and it's made for a great year so far.
Lastly, I'm not sure how much you guys have gotten a chance to watch because, of course, you're busy actually playing, but one of Purdue's great players in recent memory, Robbie Hummel, now doing some analysis for us. And, of course, he spent some time on your bench helping out a little bit over the last couple of years. He's taking credit for all of your guys' success this year. How accurate is that?
Rob's done a good job of reaching out to us. Anytime you can have a stud like Robbie Hummel texting guys like myself and other guys on the team, it's always a great feeling. he's adjusted to the life behind the camera as well. I know it's weird him interviewing like people after the game, but Rob has very little to do with the success we've had this season, but I'm sure he'll tell you differently.
Yeah, and I'm sure he understands that. See, he's adjusted so well because after all those years in Europe, you know, they make all that nice clothes that he can bring and wear here on the set. Hey, PJ, we truly appreciate your time. Great to catch up. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me.